Indian woman wouldn't like to be depicted as a Raja Ravi Varma painting? So I took my chance today. Namaskar, I'm Shivani and a new postcard has arrived. This time it brings the legacy of one of India's pioneering modern artists who was instrumental in creating and shaping Indian aesthetics for centuries to come, Raja Ravi Varma. His mesmerizing portrayal of Indian gods and goddesses fueled our imagination and I would say made him a pioneering nationalist. His almost feminist images of Indian women from different walks of life immortalized the elegant beauty and grace of Indian women. Raja Ravi Varma, born on 29th April 1848, was an Indian painter and artist, considered among the greatest painters in the history of Indian art. His works are one of the best examples of the fusion of European academic art with a purely Indian sensibility and iconography. Additionally, he was notable for making affordable lithographs of his paintings available to the public, which greatly enhanced his reach and influence as a painter and public figure. His lithographs increased the involvement of common people with fine arts and defined artistic tastes among common people. Furthermore, his religious depiction of Hindu deities and works from Indian epic poetry and Puranas have received profound acclaim. He is a fine example of someone who may have learnt and mingled with Western ideas, but also stood for his culture and roots proudly. Raja Ravi Varma was part of the royal family of erstwhile Parappanad, Malappuram district, born into an aristocratic family that for over 200 years produced consorts for the princesses of the matrilineal Travancore royal family. The title Raja was conferred as a personal title by the Viceroy and Governor General of India upon him. Ravi Varma's mother, Umayamba Bai Thampuratti, belonged to the baronial family which ruled the Kelimanur feudal estate within the kingdom of Travancore. She was a poet and writer of some talent, and her work Parvati Swayamvaram was published by Varma after her demise. Ravi Varma's father was a scholar of Sanskrit and Ayurveda and hailed from the Ernakulam district in Kerala. Later in his life, two of his granddaughters were adopted into that royal family, and their descendants comprise the totality of the present royal family of Travancore. Ravi Varma was patronized by Ayilyam Thirunal, the Maharaja of Travancore, and began formal training thereafter. He learned the basics of painting in Madurai. Later, he was trained in water painting by Rama Swami Naidu and rather reluctantly in oil painting by Dutch portraitist Theodore Jensen. The British administrator Edgar Thurston was significant in promoting the careers of Varma and his brother. Varma received widespread acclaim after he won an award for an exhibition of his paintings at Vienna in 1873. Varma's paintings were also sent to the World's Columbian Exposition held in Chicago in 1893, and he was awarded 3 gold medals. He traveled throughout India in search of subjects. He often modeled Hindu goddesses on Indian women whom he considered beautiful. Ravi Varma is particularly noted for his paintings depicting episodes from the story of Dushyant and Shakuntala, Nal and Damayanti from the Mahabharata. Ravi Varma's representation of mythological characters has become a part of the Indian imagination of the epics. He is often criticized for being too showy and sentimental in his style, but his work remains very popular in India. Many of his fabulous paintings are housed at Lakshmi Vilas Palace, Vadodara. Apparently, on the advice of then Diwan Prime Minister of Travancore, T. Madhava Rao, Ravi Varma started a lithographic printing press in Ghatkopar, Mumbai in 1894 and later shifted it to Malavli near Lonavala, Maharashtra in 1899. The oleographs produced by the press were mostly of Hindu gods and goddesses in scenes adapted mainly from the Mahabharata, Ramayana and the Purans. These oleographs were very popular and continued to be printed in thousands for many years. even after the 1906 death of Ravi Varma. The Ravi Varma Press was the largest and most innovative press in India at that time. The press was managed by Varma's brother Raja Varma, but under their management, it was a commercial failure. By 1899, the press was deeply in debt, and in 1901, the press was sold to his printing technician from Germany, Fritz Schleicher. Schleicher continued to print Ravi Varma's prints, but later employed less talented artists to create new design. Schleicher also broadened the product of press to include commercial and advertisement labels. Under the management of Schleicher and his successors, the press continued successfully until a devastating fire destroyed the whole factory in 1972. Many of Ravi Varma's original lithographic prints were also lost in the fire. In 1904, Viceroy Lord Curzon, on behalf of the British King Emperor, bestowed upon Varma the Kaisar-e-Hind Gold Medal. A college dedicated to fine arts was also constituted in his honor at Mavelikera, Kerala. Raja Ravi Varma High School at Kilimanur was named after him, and there are many cultural organizations throughout India bearing his name. In 2013, the crater Varma on Mercury was named in his honor. Considering his vast contribution to Indian art, the government of Kerala has instituted an award called Raja Ravi Varma Puraskaram, which is awarded every year to people who show excellence in the field of art and culture. On his 65th death anniversary, India Post issued a commemorative postal stamp depicting Ravi Varma and his famous painting Damayanti and the Swan. Raja Ravi Varma is sometimes regarded as the first modern Indian artist due to his ability to reconcile Western aesthetics with Indian iconography. The Indian art historian and critic Geeta Kapoor wrote, Ravi Varma is the indisputable father figure of modern Indian art. Naive and ambitious at the same time, he opens up the debate for his later compatriots in the specific matter of defining individual genius through professional acumen, of testing modes of cultural adaptation with idiosyncratic effect, of attempting pictorial narration with its historic scope. Similarly, Baroda school artist Ghulam Muhammad Sheikh also wrote about Ravi Varma as a modern artist. In his essay Ravi Varma in Baroda, Sheikh asserted that Varma was a key figure in the establishment of Indian modern art, claiming that the story of contemporary Indian art was never the same after Ravi Varma had entered it. He left his imprint on almost every aspect of it. Like Kapoor, Sheikh praised Ravi Varma's integration of Indian and Western aesthetics and techniques, comparing him favorably to Indian modernist Nandlal Bose. However, naysayers did say Ravi Varma in a less favorable light, derogatorily referring to him as kitschy and claiming Varma's work was less spiritually authentic than folk art and tribal art. Some critics even went to the extent of accusing Varma of being responsible for the vulgarity of popular art, comparing Varma's work to the lurid colors and sexuality of popular images in calendar art and films. Despite his controversial legacy, Ravi Varma continues to be an important figure for modern and contemporary Indian artists. As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I shall leave you with some of Raja Ravi Varma's epic paintings and let you decide for yourself what he contributed to Indian art. His major works, when we talk of the Hindu gods and goddesses, are Lakshmi, Saraswati, Lord Ganesha with Siddhi and Buddhi, family of Shiva, Vishnu with Lakshmi and Prithvi, goddess Kali, Matsya Avatar, Lord Rama, Lord Krishna with Yashoda, descent of Ganga, Sri Ram meeting his brother Bharat. Other notable paintings would be Radha in the Moonlight, Lady playing Swarabat, which is an ancient instrument. Shakuntala. Shakuntala looking for Dushyant is an epic painting by Raja Ravi Varma, where he depicts Shakuntala, an important character of Mahabharata, pretending to remove a thorn from her foot while actually looking for her husband or lover Dushyant, while her friends call her bluff. Tapati Guha Thakurta, an art historian, wrote about this painting. This very gesture, the twist and turn of head and body, draws the viewer into the narrative, inviting one to place the scene within an imagined sequence of images and events. On its own, the painting stands like a frozen tableau, like a slow-moving film plucked out of an on-running spectacle of episodes. These paintings also reflect the centrality of the male gaze in defining the feminine image. Though absent from the pictorial frame, the male lover forms a pivotal point of reference. His gaze transfixes Shakuntala as also Damayanti into desired images, casting them as lyrical and sensual ideas. Then there are more paintings like Shivaji, Radha Krishna, Hamsa Damayanti, There Comes Papa. This is one of my favorite. It is an 1893 painting of Raja Ravi Varma depicting his daughter Mahaprabha Thapuratti and grandson Marthand Varma looking towards the left at an approaching father. Evoking both Indian and European style, the painting has been noted by critics for its symbolism regarding Nair matrilineal practices. Yashoda Krishna is another one. Ahilya Jatayu fights Ravana is one of the most sordid and explicit depictions. Stolen interview, the flaneur comes into play observing the world go by. Nair lady adorning her hair. Shakuntala Patralekhan, Galaxy of Musicians, again another bewitching one. Woman holding fruit, Rambha, reclining Nair lady, portrait of a lady. Thank you for watching this most enchanting postcard with me. I will be back soon with another postcard from Bharat. Namaskar.